Hello friends, hope you have been well. Looks like the country is coming back to its old self. More bad drivers in Perth, more drunk people in Sydney, Melbourne's back to day trading avocados, sipping chai lattes and eating quiche. Life is good, almost. So let's talk tech news. Welcome to this week's Dirt Report, Aussie Tech show at odd times each week, but mostly Sundays. Thanks for jumping in. Make sure to like this video if you did and subscribe if you'd like to see more. It really does help. We have some great stories for you today. Foxtel's double dipping into taxpayer money, AusPost and machine learning, and Telstra to split like a log for the fire. And on that note, let's roll the intro. First of all, we have to thank the journalists at the ABC for this one. I guess I'm not the only one who thinks there is something fishy going on with Foxtel, News Corp and the Australian government. But you know, we could all be wrong and this is just a clerical error. Nonetheless, this week the brave folks at the ABC obtained some secret classified documents under a Freedom of Information request. And what could these super top secret classified documents show? Well, it did take an FOI to get them, and I may be exaggerating the secretness of the documents, though some pages were almost entirely completely blanked out. The document shows that the Federal Communications Department gave Foxtel $10 million of taxpayer money, and for those following at home, taxpayer money is you, me, and Dupree. But wait, there's more. The $10 million was given to Foxtel for a reason. I would say even maybe a righteous reason, and that is to broadcast underrepresented sports from around Australia. This money is part of the budget plan from 2017, so it was allocated a long time ago. However, the problem is Foxtel had not submitted any documentation how it would spend the money. And at this stage, it could be Hooker's debt and more Housewives of Atlanta. Foxtel doesn't have to submit any plan until next year. By then, they might just say, oh wait, what money? What are you talking about, Mr. Government? The spokesperson for the Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development and Communication said in a statement, Foxtel was only provided flexibility on how it presented the information it was required to report on. Foxtel Sports, like any recipient under a Commonwealth grant, are not able to write its own rules for spending the money and must comply with standard performance, milestones and reporting requirements. The Verity Green clearly sets out the Commonwealth's requirement in relation to delivering the extended underrepresented sports program. This plan is due to be submitted to the department in January 2021. You see, this whole deal was fast-tracked by the government, and Foxtel even received an early payment of $7.5 million in government grants for sports coverage, plus an additional $10 million. Most of the grants, as mentioned, was to cover underrepresented sports. Foxtel says in an example that covering a whole season of women's AFL is far too expensive, so the ABC ended up paying Foxtel more on top of the grants that they received to do so. Foxtel is double dipping and maybe even triple dipping, and somehow our government cannot see it. I have linked the ABC investigation below. Make sure to check it out and read it in detail and support the ABC on this one. Let me know your thoughts below. Should Foxtel be propped up by the government like this? Seems a bit ludicrous that only one company can do this sort of sports coverage. Next up, we have AusPost, and it looks like they're taking their digital transformation to the next level. And this is absolutely a positive story, so strap in. During the Digital Summit and Awards of 2020, AusPost talked about their new machine learning initiative. Executive General Manager of Transformation and Enablement, John Cox, spent quite the while explaining why and how excited he and the team is about their new technology. Now, machine learning and AusPost, how can that be exciting? Well, you would be surprised, and I kind of was actually. Using the data captured from deliveries from each point to delivery at your door, Australia Post has started using machine learning to calculate the arrival time of parcels. But not just like a day or two before, down to 2 hours. The most interesting part, the 2-hour window is published to you, the receiver of the package, but internally, AusPost said they have it much lower. This is certainly much better than DHL, for example. They called me that they're coming to pick up a package from my house, and I asked what time, and the reply is between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Still not as bad as NBN service appointments, but nonetheless, it's a long day of waiting. This is part of a larger transformation for AusPost, and a big part has been a new technology to plan out the most efficient routes for drivers. Once that is planned out and followed, the smart tech will crunch the data and give you a very precise arrival time for packages based on past performance. What's really exciting about this is the fact that it's almost live. It's not like running a report and then figuring out what happened last month. On the back end, AusPost has been using machine learning to predict the volume of packages during busy periods like Christmas, allowing them to scale personnel and systems as required, something that can save a lot of time and money. So let me know below if it is something that will make a big difference to you if you receive a lot of packages, and if you have an AusPost horror story, I would be keen to hear it. Getting a free watch doesn't count, by the way. Finally, our last topic of the day, and by far my favorite. I love a good Telstra story, and no, it's not rumors that Telstra might be buying NBN, and Infraco is still sitting in its lair, plotting. Or is it? This week, Telstra CEO Andrew Penn has announced that Telstra will be splitting into 3 entities: Infraco Fixed, Infraco Towers, and ServCo. And the last one apparently is only a placeholder. Now, Penn said ServCo is not a new brand name, I should say. We're just using that as a reference today for the purpose of differentiating this entity, which is focused on products and services and customer support, from the infrastructure business. You see, as part of the 2022 transformation, this is one of their biggest milestones, and as Penn pointed out, biggest since privatization of Telstra. He also added this is an important moment in Telstra's long history, a proposed restructure of the business into 3 separate entities under a parent group called Telstra Group. So the 2 entities will be split into 2 service types, mobile and fixed, and then the service one to serve them. Penn said Infraco Fixed will own and operate our passive physical infrastructure assets, the ducts, the pipes, fiber data centers, subsea cables, and exchanges, all of which underpin our fixed telecommunication network. Then he said Infraco Towers will own and operate our passive physical mobile tower assets, which we will look to monetize over time, given the demand and compelling valuation of this type of high-quality infrastructure. And so, ServCo will focus on how we create products, services, support customers, and deliver the best possible customer experience, including maintaining our significant network leadership. ServCo will own the active parts of the network, things like software-defined networking that allows Telstra to operate their network in a very dynamic way. He also said it's important to understand that we are being very careful to retain key elements of our network in ServCo. Now, all of this is a long way off, and we talked about Infraco a long time ago too, and only now do we see some updates. Penn added that there will be further updates in the new year. Until then, they'll be working on it completely internally without letting the public know. So the question is, why would Telstra want to do this? Well, essentially there are kind of 2 reasons for a split of this kind. The shareholders want to split a business that has distinct sub-businesses into separate units. This could be because they want to sell one or more of those, float them, or simply because they don't want one part going bust if another one fails. A simple example would be a company that has a portfolio of investment properties and also has a trading business. But in this case, it's all about the NBN. Telstra has complained how unprofitable it is, and so separating it from their profitable mobile business would be the right business choice in case anything happens. So Telstra is doing this in such a way that they don't have to pay penalties or have any tax liabilities. Let me know your thoughts below. What could this mean for Telstra, its shareholders, and customers? And that's all I have for you today. Tune in next week for more Aussie tech and telco news. Also, I've been putting together videos more often and in smaller bits. Let me know if that works or you want to change it. I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like this video if you did, and subscribe if you'd like to see more and support this channel. Thanks for watching, and bye!